Hello sports fans, Johnny Burials here, out here in Connecticut. It's overcast, now the sun's come out, and I'm out here throwing my jerkbaits. And I got some modified vintage jerkbaits, and I'm trying to see how they do in the water, testing them out. And I figure I'd get a couple on video. Basically right now I'm throwing my first edition KVD's jerkbaits. If you remember these that came out. Nice little vintage ones. They were very slim. They were kind of hard to cast because they didn't really have it. They had some rattles, but they didn't have the transference systems that they have now. Oh, there you now you can see me, folks. And what I do is I modify. The only really modification I did besides adding weight to it and split rings to make it suspend perfectly, because these guys were notorious for not running properly and being off tuned and basically not suspending. So basically, you know, the old school guys used to be able to put lead wire on the hooks, like I showed in my previous posts, drill holes, put extra split shot in there. And the only other thing I do is I always put treble hooks, feathered treble hooks on the ends there, because especially in cold water, when that bait just sits there for a while, I feel it just gives it a little more lively action. And any of you guys who knows from fishing Hopkins spoons in cold water, I also do that too. I put on the spoons, I put the treble hook feathers on there. All right, let's try a few casts here. I don't know if you guys can get me on here, but you can see me, but I'm on the bank of the lake that I'm at. And just make a long cast. Reel up the slack, reel it down a couple of turns, and just give it a twitch. The key for me on jerkbait fishing is I always got to throw it with jerk it with slack in the line. I want that bait to move, but I want it to be erratic and move, but I want it to stay in the same spot and come back to me slowly. If you have a straight line and you reel it in and you're jerking it and then reel it in, jerking it, you're just basically just bringing the jerkbait straight to you, and that's not really the purpose of it. Give it a jerk. Now the next thing you do is you want to get the right cadence. So basically, I always start off the same way. I cast out, I reel it down a couple of turns, I give it a jerk. I let it sit. I always like to let it sit at least 8 seconds because in Connecticut the water is very cold, and there's still the lake the ice just came off the lake, so the water is very cold. And basically I give it that first jerk, I'll let it sit for about 8 seconds. Then follow with a jerk. Let it sit another 5 seconds, 8 seconds, jerk. This is predominantly what I do when I first go out anywhere, especially in the cold months. As the temperatures warm up, and of course as spring progresses, not spring yet, but as spring comes and it progresses, the water starts warming up, I'll go faster and faster until even summertime. Then I really start ripping it. Jerk baits are great. I love jerk baits, and I use them all year long, from winter to spring to fall. They're my go-to bait. I like to cover water when I fish. I'm not the type of guy that sits in one spot unless I really located a fish. So I'm always trying to find the active fish in the active schools or in the area. The water's pretty shallow here, so and there's some vegetation. So you know when you're getting muck on your jerk baits that you're really working it, because you want to be close to the structure. Unless you're fishing open water where you got the fish suspended, then I would go with a deeper lip. This lip here is basically a shallow water bait. Making that cast, reel it down, 2 turns, jerk. Jerk, jerk. Jerk, 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 jerk. This is basically what I'm doing. I'm just playing now, but this is how I usually go in the summertime. Jerk, 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 and I'm just moving it. But I'm hitting it with slacking the line. I'm not reeling in that much. Just slack, 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 and then reel up a little bit, half a turn. Bigger jerk baits, heavy jerk baits, 5.5, 6, 6 1/4 jerk baits deep lip jerk baits. I like to throw a bait casting combo. And then on the smaller ones like this one here, I throw spinning gear. I use Cast King braided line, the lightest I can get away with. This one's like the 8-pound test diameter and it's 20-pound test strength. And then I'll throw a fluorocarbon leader on it. I love the sensitivity of braid. And I just put Cast King also sells a floor coat line, very cheap, very affordable products from Cast King. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just saying this is what I use. And like I said, I got a vintage rod. I don't know if you guys remember this rod. It's an amp rod from Berkeley. These rods were only about 20 bucks in the day, and they were basically, they came out for a little while. I don't know if you can see it right there. Most of them were like 2 pieces, but they had they're the perfect for jerkbaits. I don't know why. They have the perfect action. This one's a 6.6 medium light spinning, and it's perfect for jerkbaits, light small crankbaits. I mean, I personally just love it. I throw a lot of lighter lures and crankbaits and stuff like that, so I like the traditional extra fast tip. I use sharp hooks. That's another key, sharp sticky hooks. And basically, especially in wintertime, you'll bring a lot of these guys who know fishing this kind of weather. A lot of times the fish will be lethargic. They'll come in, they'll have maybe 1 hook in their mouth. Probably in the summertime you lose that fish. And then I pair up this rod I have here, a Daiwa today. A Daiwa, what do they call this? It's Revros. I'm horrible at it. It's a 2500H. Affordable. This one goes for about maybe 40 bucks, 50 bucks. And basically it has an excellent drag. And I always keep the drag loose, so when the fish pulls, they can almost pull out drag. Another reason I don't want a fish to pull the hooks out. And like I said, that's my rig up. All right, I'm gonna get back to jerking here. And sports fans, get out there, enjoy the great outdoors. Like I said, today, if I get a fish, it's a bonus. But I'm basically out here just trying out and see how these jerk baits work out. All right, folks. God bless.